Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. That's Joe Smith. This is Transfers Live, where we talk about all the latest Manchester United news. Now, this morning, Joe, I was getting a little bit deflated. I was in my kitchen talking about Brian and Mbeumo, how nothing had changed. United still haven't signed him. We're still waiting. We're still hopeful. Still haven't got any alternatives if we don't sign him. It was all much of a muchness. But thankfully tonight, we have got a bit of news, haven't we?
Something's happened.
Something's happened. There's been an update. Is it good news? Is it F? But it's news, so we'll get into it. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about other news as well. And I love the fact that sometimes like, a story will pop up like Nicholas Jackson to United and you'll go, don't be stupid, that ain't happening. And then a few days later you go, oh actually, there might be something in that. So we'll get into that. Also outgoings as well. We've got Garnacho on the thumbnail for a reason. What's going on with him? Could it be a bit of a swap deal? We'll get into that. Plus we'll have the usual suspects. But the most important thing is that you lot, yes you, get involved in the chat and the comments. Hit that like button as well, please, people. And just before we move on to the stories, there's an evening with Andy Cole this Friday. There's a link in the description. Use the code Paddock50. You get 50% off Q&A with the legend that is Andy Cole. We're going to be down there as well, so make sure you check that out. Joseph, talk to me.
Exciting. Yeah, well, you know what, Jay? Like you said, there's been some news. Let's just get into it, shall we?
Okay.
No messing around. No producer cam tonight, by the way.
Oh, is it not?
No. Barely any cameras.
I mean, I'm relieved we had cameras on us, to be frank.
What? Last week there was a camera on the producers and they were excellent.
Right.
The week before that there wasn't. It was poor. Let's find out.
Okay.
If we're ready for the Mbeumo, push the Brian, they've let us know. If you're ready for Mbeumo, you better push the Brian, they've let us know.
How did you get that?
I just love Sugar Babes.
Honestly, you did well there.
Thank you.
Because I thought it was me being like an old fuddy-duddy.
You are.
And it was like, well, I am. That's a fair comment. That's the fair comment. I can't argue with that. But go on.
Fuddy never gets a run out with that, does it?
No, it's like...
It's like Ant and Deck.
Yeah, it's like Mills and Boone.
Yeah, exactly.
Torval and Dean.
Yeah.
Lennon and McCartney. Bonnie and Clyde. Right, I'll stop now. Tell me, Louise.
Yeah, very good. Manchester United and Mbeumo push stalls after Brentford raised price towards £70 million.
I want to know how they got to this point with the Sugar Babes pun, by the way. Because nothing about that name, Brian and Mbeumo, makes me think of that song.
Annoyingly, we can't really quiz them on it because there's no camera.
Let's not complicate matters this evening.
Let's get into this.
Let's just get into it.
Manchester United's push to buy Brian and Mbeumo has stalled after Brentford raised their valuation closer to £70 million, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe intent on not being pushed into paying more than his club's £65 million valuation of the forward. The change of stance has been met with resistance by Ratcliffe and Wilcox, who do not wish to be held to ransom and are determined to be patient. Brentford view their position as firm because although Mbeumo's contract expires next summer, the club holds a one-year option. So he's basically got 2 years on his contract, hasn't he? That's the actual truth of the matter. You know, this is
Joe's mic isn't on, I think, which is great. We've got to fix that. Any better?
There's a few on.
There's a few on.
That one, it's not that one.
I presume my mic is on because... Oh no, Jay's gone now too.
we're just fucking about with buttons at this point, I think.
Whatever you've done has taken mine off.
No, that should be right.
I'm going to keep... Can you... Yeah, have you got headphones? You can hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Shall I read that again?
Yeah. People are saying that I'm distorted. Sounds like I'm in a wind tunnel. Jay is a robot. Not right. Sack them both. Sweet baby Jesus. Jay's distorted now and Joe's is off completely. Jay's too loud. Get gamming quick. Sack the producers. Jay, it sounds like you're shouting in the other room. Are we sure that my mic is working okay?
Does it sound okay in your ears? No, it doesn't. Okay. Do you want me to come round and have a look again at the risk of it all going off like it did last week?
Is Joe's okay?
Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you both. We can hear you both, yeah.
It just sounds absolutely shocking, does it?
Doesn't sound great.
Are we on the wrong scene?
It says Joe's mic is still off. You can hear him through YouTube. Are you listening to Joe through YouTube?
No,
right.
Through OBS, but that should be the same thing.
Right, it's through OBS and it sounds okay?
It does on mine, it is, yeah.
Can we turn off my microphone? I've got the red microphone, and that's... And is that even in on the right thing?
Red's not.
because that's going to need to be on the one next to where the grey is at the moment.
We can hear Joe through Jay.
We can hear Joe through Jay.
Like I'm a. Is Joe in the room with me now?
So put the red mic in where the grey one currently is.
It's fixed. Everything's fine.
Everything's all right, is it?
Yes, just lots of chat saying bring back Ethan.
We'll trim this.
Cam, sack the producers.
We'll trim all this.
Yeah. Joe's good.
Are we better now?
Jay is not. Jay's gone.
Jay's back.
Jay's mic is off. Jay's quiet. Jay's off.
Jay can't be off.
Jay's back. There we go.
Jay's blue and I'm red.
I think I'm alright.
We're good. Right,
we
shall I
okay?
read the story again?
Jay's back now.
And we can all pretend this never happened. Yeah? Let's read the story again.
Just before we went live, we're going to do a short one tonight. We'll keep it nice and snappy. We've spent 10 minutes sorting out our microphones.
It's all fine. It's all fine. This is life in the relatively fast lane. Manchester United's pushed by Brandon Mbeumo has stalled after Brentford raised their valuation closer to 70 million. I'll get to the nuts and bolts. Ratcliffe doesn't want to pay more than 65, and that's his valuation of the forward. The change of stance has been met with resistance by Ratcliffe and Wilcox. They don't want to be held to ransom and are determined to be patient. Brentford view their position as firm because although Mbeumo's contract expires next summer, the club hold a 1-year option.
I'm peeking, by the way, in the microphones, everyone's saying. This is bad news, isn't it?
What, really? This or this?
Everything about this live so far.
This live it's actually a creative dance piece. Yeah. It's modern art to reflect Manchester United's current situation. We've got our very own Wilcox and Ratcliffe behind the cameras who are doing their best, but at the moment we're not getting any closer to a resolution, I'm afraid. What do you make of all this?
I'm scared to talk because my microphone seems to be causing issues for everyone listening. I think yours is okay. I'm just deflated with it all, and this is more deflation. It really is. It's a bit of a nightmare because I was hoping we'd be close to the deal being done this week, and instead it seems like it's further away than it was 6 weeks ago when we put the first bid in, and now we're hearing 70 million quid, which hadn't really been touted before. It had been sort of 65 million, 62.5 million maybe. We were hearing it was going to be about the same as a Mateus Cunha deal. But unfortunately, I think we're looking at Brentford playing hardball and Manchester United now being faced with a very real proposition, which I didn't think was going to happen, of potentially having to walk away from this deal. I hope we don't, because I want Brandon Mbeumo, and I'm of the opinion that, as me and you did the other day, we went through the Paddock podcast, there isn't any players similar to his ability, his quality, his experience, his achievements in the Premier League in terms of goals and assists, who operates in the system and the position, I should say, where we want him to, who is remotely available for that kind of price anyway. You're looking at someone like, when you're looking at the numbers, you were talking about players like Mohamed Salah and Saka and Isak and Erling Haaland, who obviously none of whom are available or affordable or or gettable. He is literally the best player we can get in that position with what we need, and it looks as though we're being priced away from it. I would pay. I think you could, if they're saying 70, I think you could probably get him for 65 million with more of it up front than what we were offering. I think that's that tactic is. I'm just worried that when you see 70 million, when you're playing hardball, the whole point of playing hardball is you play hardball. You don't go, we're playing hardball, oh actually we're not, we've crumbled, we're just like we're 100 and Woodward. If you are playing hardball, then you have to, the bit where you play hardball is when you walk away from something. And if that's what Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are going to do, then they're going to have to do it. I hope they don't, because for me, I think we'll be sat here in a year's time, if we don't get on Mbeumo, watching him either carry on at Brentford smashing it or going somewhere else and smashing it, and United thinking we could have done with him.
Yeah, I do hope that it's that, and I do think it probably is that. I think this is Brentford's attempt to get more of the 65 million that they want up front or more quickly with less add-ons or more achievable add-ons. I can't imagine that a team like Brentford, who, I know that they've achieved a lot over the last few years. They've stayed in the Premier League. They look like a really good team. But they're the sort of team that doesn't have 65 million quids lying about all the time. Their gate is one of the smallest in the Premier League. They've got like 14,000 seater at their stadium, 16,000, something like that.
Slightly more. I think it's just. I think is it closer to 20, Brentford? I don't know actually. You might be right. So
somewhere in the teens, anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. I want to be accurate, but they're not a team where there's millions and millions and millions lying around. Yeah, there you go.
You're right. Sorry.
So
less than I thought.
This 65 million for them would be very valuable. And I don't think that they want to lose that, because next season, when he does have a year left on his contract, because let's be honest, he's got 2 at the moment, even though it's not been activated, then you aren't going to get any more than 40. That's assuming he has a season as good as last season.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's a year older, a year toward the end of his contract, you might be, there might not really be any buys for him. It might be 30 million. If you can get 65 right now, I think they'll be up for that. And I think this is all just a tactic to do that. I feel like, I know that everyone has to do business and all that, and you even look at, we were chatting before about Donald Trump and his tariffs and how much of that was a threat and how much of it was a false threat and we'll pause it with this, that and the other. But you think at this level, can't we just be a bit more sort of straight with each other than this whole actually, now you've come to this, actually it's gone up another 5 million. That sort of in-betweeners where it's like every time he speaks he gets another week's detention. 65 million? Surely 70 million pounds? Is that what you... Surely we're more adult than this. But obviously, by the sound of it, according to Jamie Jackson, I think Laurie Whitwell hinted at something very similar as well. We're not above that. So, yeah, very frustrating.
I'm going to get into... Yeah, I agree. In the chat, loads of people saying Joe's peaking. I don't know if that's true. Yomi Nelson, who's been a member of the Academy for 58 months, says, for the love of God, please have something positive to tell me. I'm dying here, lads. UTFP.
If you like the sound of Nicholas Jackson, I'm the red mic, by the way, if you were fiddling with that one. If you like the sound of Nicholas Jackson coming to Manchester United, we might have something positive.
Yeah, we might have real good news for you there. Salty Pretzel, who's been a member of the first team for 11 months, says, lads, it's 35 degrees Celsius in New York City. Good luck on your trip. Is that hot?
Too hot.
Right.
That's how hot. Do you know when you see them with a big pizza paddle and they're like swirling the pizza around in the oven?
Yeah.
The back of that oven where the fire is 33 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
it's even hotter than that.
Tina Telesin-Toka has been a member of the Academy for 34 months, says Ineos transfer windows are as bad as was the Glazers. Think Ruben will get sacked in November. J-Max says this show has been organised by Ineos. Get Ethan back.
Who is Ethan in all this? Is he David Gill? He's certainly not fucking Sir Alex Ferguson.
John Murtagh.
Yeah, he's Murtagh and Arnold as one. Should we move on to our next story then? Let's go with this second. What we got? Chelsea want you, pretty young thing. What's that?
What is that?
Chelsea want you. It's Look at the Players.
What?
What song is this?
Pretty Young Thing by
Pretty Young Thing by
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, of course.
Oh, I love you. Day by day, pretty young thing.
Do they still play that by him?
What?
Isn't that in the category of too close to the allegations?
Michael Jackson?
Don't say it.
I won't say it. I need to stop saying it. Sounds might know.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this pun. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of this graphic. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like them, and I class them as friends. I'm not a huge fan of the production values tonight.
Yes.
But all that being said,
this story is even worse.
This story is worse.
Let's read it. Man United Jackson swap deal with Chelsea bid to offload Garnacho. This is according to the paper. According to journalist Pete Hall,
everyone's saying my mic is peaking now, lads.
While no bid has yet been launched by Man United for Jackson, the Red Devils are interested in the Senegalese international as they desperately look to add firepower. There is hope that a knockdown price can be agreed, with the Blues suddenly overloaded with forwards. It's not suddenly. They've been buying strikers non-stop for 3 years. But despite this, Chelsea remain interested in Garnacho. The Argentine is attracting interest from Aston Villa, Tottenham and the Saudi Pro League clubs, but the possibility of a sort of swap deal has now emerged between United and Chelsea. Are you interested in a swap deal between Alejandro Garnacho and Nicholas Jackson, Jay?
I'm scared to talk because every time I talk, everyone's kicking off. They
should be able to see and hear on there whether it's peaking or not.
I find it isn't.
Okay, well if it's not, then it's not. There you go.
Okay, everyone's just trolling.
Maybe they are.
Not really.
Yeah.
I think we can get 60 million for Garnacho. I've said that all along. I wouldn't pay 60 million for Nicholas Jackson.
No.
I think Nicholas Jackson, would he score more goals than Rasmus Højlund and even Joshua Zirkzee? Yes, he probably would. Is he a decent player? I think he is. I think in terms of goals and assists, he does decent numbers, but he's got a touch of the sort of the Romelu Lukaku's about him. Not that he's a similar player, but he's one of those that when he looks bad, looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and but on his numbers you go, oh, actually them numbers aren't too bad, but then he'll have these sort of fits and starts in terms of it's a boom and bust situation.
You get 4 goals in one game and then not score for 2 months.
Yeah, and I just don't. I think if you're going to next season, and it was like you've got Garnacho's moved on, you've brought in Nicholas Jackson. If you get Mbeumo, Cunha and Jackson is better front three than what we've had. But if you don't get Mbeumo, I still think you're going to be sort of overly reliant on someone like Ahmad maybe to get you goals and assists. I don't know. I'm not too keen on it, to be honest with you. It feels like he's, what is he now, 3rd in the pecking order at Chelsea behind Pedro and Liam Delap.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that
they've only had him 2 years and they've replaced him with 2 people.
I know, and I
don't want Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah,
I get
Chelsea are doing better than us, but are we taking their 3rd choice striker now?
He's just not good enough. He's someone that like is playing in a team that's much more creative than ours, and he gets a load of chances and misses most of them. I know all strikers statistically miss most of their chances, but he's someone that misses a ridiculous proportion, who misses a lot of good chances. And like you said, he'll turn up with 4 goals in one game and look unplayable, and then the next game he'll be through on goal 3 times and put them all wide, or run into the keeper, or slow down and get tackled. He's so infuriating to watch, and I agree with you in terms of the archetype and the similarity to Lukaku, just on the infuriating basis. But Lukaku is what's he got? 400 career goals, 300 career goals. I don't think Jackson will finish with a fraction of that, because whilst he's, like I said, a decent player, he's just not. I don't really think he's a number 9, and I don't think his dribbling and creation is good enough to be the winger that he used to be. I just think he's a bit of a mixture of things, and Garnacho, one of the things that fans had an issue with outside of the, people act like the only thing that people didn't like about Garnacho was this fallout with the manager that really happened on the last game of the season properly. I know there'd been dribs and drabs before that, but it came to a head in the last game of the season. But all season people have been talking about how infuriating Garnacho was, decision making, poor finishing, missing big chances in big moments. That's exactly what Nicholas Jackson does.
Yeah.
We don't need to swap one for the other unless it's an entirely a PSR exercise, and in which case, what are we doing?
No.
If we have to sign Nicholas Jackson because otherwise we're skint, that's just crap. I don't want to do that.
I agree. I mean, just looking, I did this the other day on the news. This is the thing, I mentioned this in the news, not a swap deal, but the first time the Nicholas Jackson rumour started and people going, oh, that'll never happen, it's nonsense. All right, you're probably true, but you're probably right, it is nonsense. But let's just look at the numbers, let's just, humour me, if you will. I think it's 34 goal involvements in 65 games in the Premier League. I've just gone off the Premier League. So you think, okay, to be fair, that's fine. Those numbers are decent. One in 2. We've always said that those are quite, decent numbers. But it's when you scratch beneath the surface, like you said, that's what you need to do with a player like Jackson. First of all, when you watch him, I think you've seen him. Was it the cup semi or the final against City where he had missed
both? Wasn't there 2 cup finals, or one was a cup semi and the final?
Yeah.
It was against City and against Liverpool, I think, the 2 games, where he just fucking had endless chances and missed them all.
And then he did a very similar thing to Lukaku, like you mentioned earlier, in terms of the numbers. It was like, after 10 games he had, like, last season, after 15 games, I think it was, or 16 games, 15 games because he missed one, he had something like 9 goals. So you think, well, that's phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal, but it's very good.
Yeah,
it is very good. But then he goes... I'm just trying to work this out. I think then he goes 18 games without a goal.
Yeah.
So you think, I mean, to be fair, he's injured for some of that as well. So I think it's actually 13 games without a goal and 5 he misses for injury. But that's not what you need from a striker, to suddenly stop scoring for 3 months. No. That's Rasmus Højlund tackle, and the reason we're all asking for a replacement for Rasmus Højlund is because he does things like that. Yeah. You need someone who's got a bit of a consistency about him, and I just don't think that's the case with Nicholas Jackson. He's very fits and starts. So not for me, personally. No. I think if you're going to get rid of Alejandro Garnacho as a swap deal, which probably wouldn't be a swap, it'd probably be sell him and use that money to buy someone, you should be getting a striker a little bit better than Nicholas Jackson. That's my opinion. Get involved in the chat and the comments. I'm going to get through some comments and then we'll move on to the next story. Hecklefish says, just starting the whip round for a new producer. It's Echo, who's been a member of the first team for 36 months, says, hey guys, make sure some room in your tummies for Chicago food staples. That being said, if we sign Nicholas Jackson, I will go on a hunger strike. Donatello Does Machine says, is it possible the club see Mbeumo as an opportunity to sign the player as opposed to the position and they pivot to other areas of the pitch? possibly. That's not the worst thing that ever happened. Ben777 says, I would rather sign Tito Jackson. Glenn F says, we need to get Rasmus back scoring. NRB7 says, bring back CR7. Go on, let's move on.
I think that's an option. What we got? Martin Lewis, the pen-saving expert. I actually like that one. I like that one. I'm afraid. I can't say I hate that.
What is this?
It's Martin Lewis, the money-saving expert.
Is this like an amalgamation of...
I think that's the body of Martin Lewis, money-saving expert, and the head...
All the way around.
And the head of Emi Martinez. And he is a bit of a pen-saving expert, isn't he, Emi Martinez? That's actually quite good, that.
I think next week... I think
that's good.
It's fine. I think next week, we just don't bother with all this, with the half and half and the Martin Lewis, and we check the mics. That's what I do.
It's one of the other, isn't it? And that's the problem.
I'd spend my time doing that. That's me.
In a dream
These
world,
are all very good,
yeah.
but I'd rather have a bit of sound.
In
But
a
that's
dream
just
world,
me.
it would be both.
Yeah, okay.
But obviously, if you had to pick
I
one,
get spending ages on this is great.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe we check the mics next time. Just a thought, but very good.
See, I like the Photoshops.
Right.
I'm happy with no mics.
You're happy with no mics?
Yeah, as long as we get
the Photoshops are cool.
Whatever the living
Sound,
shit this
don't worry
is,
about it. Because
I'm up for it.
And then we have
just a little flack to Stephen Howson's thumbnail as well as possible.
Oh my God.
Let's keep it up, shall we? Manchester United have made a move for Emi Martinez. Talks are underway with Villa. According to Gaston Edul, one of Argentina's most reliable journalists, Manchester United have opened talks with Aston Villa over a move for penalty-saving specialist goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. That sounds like a kicker in the NFL. Like we have him on the team only for penalties, and every time we concede a penalty, sub, get him on. Speaking on X, Edul said Manchester United is making concrete moves for Emiliano Martinez. They are seriously interested. He's a priority for Amorim. In fact, Aston Villa and United are already in talks. Negotiations still need to continue, but as of now, it is the club that has made the most progress for him and shown the greatest interest. Gaston Adul, kiss. I think that means X, actually, looking back. What do you think of this? You still not a fan?
It's this thing, right? It's like, if it's a binary argument, like, is he better than Onana? Yeah. He probably is.
Maybe.
I don't think
if
Onana was Argentinian, they'd have won the World Cup. He is a better goalkeeper than Andre Onana. But changing your goalkeeper is a big deal. Is he enough of an improvement? Does he solve the problem of having an erratic goalkeeper that makes his defenders nervous? No, I don't think he does. I think you've still got that, just probably to a lesser degree than you had with Andre Onana. And also, it'd be just the most Manchester United thing ever to sign a player who's suspended for the start of the season because he got sent off in his last game against Manchester United while costing his club Champions League football. That would probably make sense for where Manchester United are at. But for me, I just think we'd be back to the sort of, we finally got rid of Onana. Oh, come on, what's Martinez doing?
Yeah.
What's he like? I know he can be very good, and I mentioned this when we first linked with him. He's like that if you look at his form. He has games where you look at it, you go, wow.
He's amazing.
Like the World Cup final, you saw some of the saves he was producing there. He basically, it wasn't for him producing world-class saves, they wouldn't have won that. But then I've seen in games, I think there was one at Stamford Bridge where I was looking at the Villa player ratings, they gave him 1 out of 10. I think he was at fault for both goals, just complete clangers from him.
Yeah.
So I still feel you can have these problems. Yes, I understand the argument of improving on Onana, but let's improve on Onana with someone who's pretty consistent.
He's not free either.
No. So you're going to spend money that you could probably do with looking elsewhere as well. I think there's better options around. I think you can get someone who's a little bit more consistent. Maybe someone who's up and coming. Maybe you sort of you have another season on Onana and then you go big next summer for someone who's much better, because we haven't got that much money to play with. That if you're going to spend 40 million quid on a goalkeeper, it's got to be the right one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea at all. Like you said, if he's going to cost between 20 and 40 million quid, I think save that money and put it towards someone that is younger, because he's 32, which I know keepers, but the era of keepers playing till they're 40 is largely gone now. Other than the legends like Neuer, you see obviously Buffon played into his 40s, but generally speaking, keepers don't play into the 40s like they did in the 90s.
No,
because they have to be on the ball all the time, twisting, turning, coming out of their box. It's not the same as it once was. You can't list half a dozen keepers who were in their late 30s playing for top flight teams anymore. No. It doesn't happen. So him being 32, He probably isn't going to be playing for 6-7 years. Let's get a keeper who could. You know what I mean? Someone who's in their mid-20s, someone who's up and coming, like you said. Instead of spending 30 on him, spend 45 million next summer on the guy, not a slight improvement over Onana if you only look at certain metrics.
The thing that the trouble you've got at the minute United was so poor last season.
Yeah.
There's so many areas where so many players are an improvement.
Yeah.
You go, well, he's better than him. He's better than what we got.
Yeah.
But you need to be better than just what we've got. Some of these players need to be an actual big step up or a decent step up. So where you go, actually, because changing the goalkeeper at Manchester United is a huge move.
Yeah.
And Martinez has done all right at Villa. Let's not pretend he hasn't. But he's not had like a glittering career where everything's gone rosy.
No.
He's been a bit erratic and up and down. I think it's mainly his international career that's made him as revered as he is, or at least well respected. I think revered is probably a bit of a stretch. But yeah, someone Akash Case, I think he's got the bozo gene, the bozo element to him, which he has got a little bit.
And it doesn't get focused on because he's playing for Villa, who, as we've said a million times, there's a reason why David Cameron and Prince William support him, because they're a team that you can support without really much hate. There isn't a set of fans online or a campaign to dislike Aston Villa. No, none of the big teams' fans dislike Aston Villa.
That's why
you get about as much grace as you possibly can at a club like that.
That's why people like Prince William and David Cameron support Aston Villa. Yeah. Because a focus group told him that was a safe bet to him. Do you know what I mean?
You come to Man United and you chuck a few clangers in. All of a sudden, you're just as bad as Onana and you're wasting money.
Also, then what happens? We still got Onana. You bring him back in after his confidence has taken a knock. We turn into Ollie buying days. Tom Eaton the answer. I just feel like if we are going to go out for a different keeper, there's better options available. Yep. There's a bit of an argument or discussion, I should say, going on about whether it's 22 million, 40 million. We'll have to wait and see what the exact figure is. Yeah. I think this is ropey, this one. Yeah. Go on, let's move on.
Let's look at this. This is absolutely mad. Up the Mersey without a paddle. That's not bad. I actually quite like that one. That's quite good.
This is better.
Yeah. Marcus Rashford floated as Liverpool considered 5 other strikers. This is an interesting non-story. We'll get into it, but I'll explain why it doesn't mean anything. Liverpool are set on signing Alexander Isak if a 130 million deal is possible. So they're not set on signing it then, are they?
No.
They're like... They seem to be very open to the alternative of Ekitike. So to say they're set on Isak, I don't think it's true. But 5 other strikers were considered as alternatives, including Marcus Rashford. And this is the crucial bit here. Rashford's name was floated during the conversation, but nothing progressed beyond that. There is little potential for that to be resurrected, given the question marks about his form in recent seasons. And also the fact that no player has gone between United and Liverpool in my lifetime.
Not even in my lifetime.
Yeah, when's the last time it happened? In the 60s?
Something like that. I had the story in my news this morning, and I said, of all the things that isn't going to happen, this isn't going to happen the most.
Yeah.
He's not. And also, his name was floated during a conversation. What? As in, he plays similar, he's a bit of a similar player to Marcus Rashford. Yeah. Oh, Marcus Rashford's a player, but obviously we're not going to sign him.
Yeah.
It's remember like that Sunderland documentary when they mentioned Zlatan.
Yeah.
It's like that, like, I'm not saying, there's a million reasons he's not going to go. I said this morning. Is he a United fan? He is. You might not like Marcus Rashford because people fall out of him. He is a Red. He knows what's going to happen if he tries to sign for Liverpool. It's going to be worse than he's ever experienced, and he's experienced a lot on social media. The club are never, ever going to sell a player that's come through the academy to Liverpool. It will not happen. Those days are long gone, and they ended on Matt Busby's watch, so let's be real there. Thirdly, Liverpool ain't going to try and buy him. They're not going to give him the wages he's on. They don't probably need him or want him, so there's another reason why that transfer is just a complete and utter non-starter. Yeah. It's just absolutely ludicrous to even suggest it. I get why we're talking about it, because it's been reported, and our job is to report on things or tell you what's been reported and give you our view on it, but this 100% will not happen. No. Marcus Rashford, he wouldn't even go to Liverpool if he was a fucking free agent, and he ain't. It's just not happening.
Even if he just scored 40 goals for United last season and was leaving on a free, Liverpool still wouldn't be an option.
Ian Millington says Paul Ince. Bro, we did not sell Paul Ince to Liverpool. He went to Inter. I said this morning. He went to Inter, spent 2 seasons at Inter. United had first refusal on him when he came back from Inter, but obviously Fergie didn't want anything to do with him. That's one of the reasons he'd sold him. So then Liverpool bought him, and even then he got a ton of grief. Yeah. That's a world of difference between us selling him to Liverpool. We would never sell a player to Liverpool. Gabriel Hines wanted... Sorry, I didn't
No, go for it.
Gabriel Hines wanted to go from United to Liverpool. Fergie put him in the resis and said, I wouldn't sell him a virus. I think he said, that might have been about Real Madrid. But he said not a chance was he going to sell him to Liverpool. Like, he was raging with him. And in the end, he got a better move anyway. I think he ended up at Real Madrid. But that is it's just not going to happen. You're not going to sell a player that you've brought through the academy, that has been one of your better players over the last 5 or 6 years, even though people might not want to admit that because no one really likes him anymore, but look at his numbers he has, to Liverpool, to help them win things. It's not going to happen. And he's not stupid enough to think that would be a good move for him either. It's just a non-starter.
Yeah.
And also, if all that weren't enough, they're not going to give him the wages.
No.
Like, it's fucking stupid, man. It really is.
It is. Right, what we got next? Away kit. Pink to make the Reds wink. United's new purple kit. Thoughts?
Yeah, I saw this the other week.
The other week?
From a completely legitimate source.
You got one?
What are you, the old Bill?
No, exactly. No, so you can tell me.
I might have
Hands on the desk, please,
some
sir.
like-
Hands on the desk, please.
Yeah.
You're under arrest. Thank you very much. Let's get you out of here. Oh, nice watch, by the way.
Blazers out.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
No, I don't. I don't. It's not really anything, is it? It's not a purple kit. It's not a white kit. There's nothing interesting about it. Yeah, I think they've been on a good run with kits in the last few years. Even I've liked some of the ones that everyone else has hated, like the zebra sort of turbo submarine camo one from the 2001 season, whenever it was. I think they've been all great. This is just boring. Like, it's like we're going, oh, we'll do like a sort of purpley pink kit because they're a bit interesting and people think they're a bit something. It's not even that. It's just a bit flat. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I'm just not inspired by it at all.
it looks a bit flimsy.
Yeah.
It
looks a bit cheap.
Yeah, it does. It's not good, is it?
No, not really.
And I don't really get too bothered about kits.
No.
I like, as long as it's not ridiculous, I don't mind. I'm like, who cares?
I often like the ridiculous ones. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They're always usually pretty similar, but I think that's one of the weakest ones we've had.
Yeah.
I really do.
Just lacks personality in every direction. What else we got? Any more?
What we saying, are they?
There we go. What we got? Flying the nest or flinging them out. Here we go. This is our last story of the night. Manchester United tried to sell a list of academy players in new PSR transfer approach. Here we go. We've had the machine rolling now. We've got the youngsters in, and now we're getting them out. Horrible, actually. Manchester United are ruffling feathers by discussing the sales of academy players this summer as they adopt a new transfer approach. United have compiled a list of academy players over 18. That feels like someone's Facebook post about saying that they're not a nonce, doesn't it? I've compiled a list of girls over 18, it says, or certainly nearly 18, who are willing to get to who are willing to let go this summer, and have discussed their names with other clubs. Ooh, you're hard. Those clubs have been surprised at some of the names discussed because United have previously paid sizable transfer fees to sign some of those players to their academy. The news has also come as a shock to some families and representatives who claim that they haven't been consulted. Jay, has your family been shocked by this news? If it has, call this hotline.
This is just a bit. Yeah, whatever. I'm getting fed up of hearing about Jason Wilcox. He's not even done out wrong. I just feel like he's gone from being like, a cog in the machine to being like the most important person in United's history. It's just like everything seems to be about Jason Wilcox recently. And I'm just getting, it's like Brian Mbeumo, he's not done out wrong. I'm sick of hearing about him. And I'm just getting the same way about the guy that won the title for Blackburn or helped him win the title for Blackburn in 95. It's like, I'm sure he's good at his job, he knows what he's doing, all the rest of it, but you always reference it, the Jason Wilcox eyes thing, that we don't need to get a director of football. We'll get rid of Dan Ashworth, we'll just promote Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox is the main guy. It's all about Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox has got the connection to him. We'll try and get Liam Black because he knows Jason Wilcox. Oh, well, this player is going to be Jason Wilcox as well.
Have you met Jason Wilcox?
Jason Wilcox and John Brown have got a great relationship.
Take my business card. My name's Jason Wilcox.
Jason Wilcox and Jim Ratcliffe get on really well. It's like, all right, we get it. You all love fucking Jason Wilcox. Just get over it. All right, he hasn't even done out yet.
He's not even that fit. I mean, what are the comments saying?
I'm sure he's very competent. I'm just sick of hearing about him. I don't think there's any need for some of the comments like Greg Foltz is saying and other people are saying that. Chris Griffith says, I'm Jason Wilcox and so is my wife.
It's a little bit like that.
That's a good way to end it.
And on the story itself, just nothingness on it. This is what's happening in football now, isn't it? And this whole thing of people are shocked and surprised that they might be sold.
football, unfortunately. I hate it, but you know, if we're still in the academy players and youngsters, that's life.
That's live. Doc Rock says, we need to be patient. He's been a member of the Academy for 25 months.
Cheers, Doc.
This is a 3 to 4 year project. Fans panic and club makes horrible stop-gap decisions. Let's take time and do it right like the Gooners. I hope you're right, and I understand that sentiment I do, and I agree with it. It is going to take a long time to fix. I think the reason people get worried as well is, yes, this is Ineos now, so it is slightly different.
Yeah.
But we've been told before that this is a whole new reset.
Yeah.
So fans get a bit jaded with it. And I understand you go, well, this is different because you've got Jason Wilcox now. I don't know if you've heard of him. But we've got Ineos, we've got Sir Jim. And all
We've got
that.
Jason Wilcox.
Yeah. But when Eric Ten came in, a lot of people were saying, well, this is it now. This is a change. We didn't get on Antonio Conte because we're going more long term. So people get jaded when you try and say that.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I do. I get that. I do feel we've got to be patient, but I appreciate the frustrations people have because we've been told this before and it doesn't really lead anywhere. We'll have to wait and see. I know this is not what anyone wants to hear, but it's one of those where, yes, you've got to be patient until we're getting challenging for the top honours, but in the meantime, we've got to do a lot better than we did last season.
Yeah.
We cannot be challenging for the title and finish 5th and 6th and people be all right with that. If we're finishing 15th, people are going to go, this is in shambles. I'm not saying that'll happen, but
If it's
that's
not
the issue.
minimum well into the top half, we've got problems.
And
haven't
I think it's doable
Yeah.
if we get some more signings in, because I think the transfer window's gone a little bit meh. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Everyone's saying my mic's off. I don't know if they're trolling.
I think they're messing about.
Right. 'Cause
They have to be.
They have to be. For our sanity. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you to everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. I really appreciate you. Thanks for sticking with us with all the technical issues as well. Going to be back tomorrow in the morning. It's all happening tomorrow.
Loads going on.
We've got the news in the morning. Then Adam McCall's going to be here. Then we've got Carl Anker's coming in. Then we've got another big interview as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out on the Sloppy Joe's podcast. I've put a link in the chat as well. So the evening with Andy Cole this Friday. Use the code Paddock50 and get 50% off that. Bit of a Q&A and all that with Mr. Andy Cole. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, production team, for an absolutely sterling effort. That's been Joe. I've been Jay. This has been a faultless Transfers Live. Thanks for watching.